the first time in months. I like to think that she saw it before she died.
Did you make the descent?
I did. There were berries in a mountain goat that had been hit by a rock slide, right next to the exit. It was so absurd I almost had to laugh. When I got back to the Elder's shack, I screamed at him, then broke down and started to cry. He just listened. In the end, he told me that we had both known what had been at stake. Yet we agreed. Choice and consequence. He made me a shaman the next day.
Okay.
I see.
There's one more thing. Remember when you asked me why I feel the way I do about our culture? Why I think we orcs should strive for more? It's Rain who made me realize
Rain.
most orcs would have fought each other to the death.
Rian.
But she didn't. Instead of submitting to her primal instincts, she made a sacrifice. One that I could have made too, if I hadn't been such a coward. Blazes, it feels strange to have told you all this. But, I don't regret it.
Well, thanks for trusting me with this, Gore.
Let me have some time for myself right now, alright? I need to think.
It's interesting because the way that Gore's character has been described to us is that, like, he will not fight for anybody, but fight alongside, like he's the equal to everybody. The orcs are supposed to be a greater race of people. And for him to bare his soul like that about such a personal sort of story, it's a weird development. He fights for the idea, not the people. Yeah, I get it. I think. I haven't used them once, though. Not used them once. Elder Tribe Eater. Transform into demon with even larger health pool and very high damage. Tribe Eater continuously loses life, but regenerates with each kill. Sounds pretty poggers. I don't know about shapeshifting. He still wants to talk to us.
Huh?
You said you know where we can find more allies.
Hello,
Yes,
Sam.
I do. I'll make it short. The Ash Reavers have invaded the foot of Barga Gore. If we defeat them and their leader, like we defeated Krell, their soldiers will join us.
Okay.
So, we head back to Barga Gore and defeat them. Sounds simple enough.
Well, yeah. Except for one thing. Kagan, the Ash Reavers chieftain. I think this invasion is about more than gaining new territory. It's personal. He despises
Why don't you just go fight
me,
him?
and that's putting it lightly.
Why? Because you killed Krell.
We
No.
killed Krell.
It's more complicated than that. Do you remember the story about my trial?
Did we?
About
No, he did.
Rain?
Yeah, I do. You took the shapeshifter's trial together, and she sacrificed herself so that you could live.
Yeah, she did. To get to the point, Kagan is Rain's true brother. To this day, he thinks that I killed her.
Yeah, but that's part of the trial. Why would he be angry about that?
I see. And that's why he invaded Barga Gore.
It must be. Bloodthirsty as the Ash Reavers are, there is no reason for them to start a war with the Fire Wielders, especially now that we unify them. He must have heard that I'm behind this, and that rekindled his hatred for me. In other words, we need to stop him, and as fast as possible. According to one of my sources, the Purity is also planning to start an attack on Barga Gore. The Fire Wielders should be able to hold them at bay, but not if they have to wage war against the Ash Reavers at the same time.
So what's the plan? Return to Barga Gore, drive back the Ash Reavers, and kill Kagan?
If all else fails, yes, we will kill him. For the sake of my people, and for our cause. But he's Rain's last living kin. So I want to first try reasoning with him instead. There must be a way to convince him that I'm not a liar, that I didn't kill his sister.
All right. I'll tell you when we head out.
Yes, Chieftain Czar already left before you woke up to get an idea of the situation. I know time is sparse, but we should leave as soon as possible. And thank you, Tahar. I appreciate it.
Sort of half tempted to go do that one. Is it a main quest now? Oh no. Yeah. Okay, let's go hand in whatever this is. Talk to this guy. What's his name? The king. Dude. Wait. Who? Somebody's got a question mark on us. Is it?
Tahar, how are you feeling?
Oh my god.
To be honest, I thought you were dead. While you were in that coma, I was unable to read or feel any thoughts and emotions.
Didn't we
emanating from
already
your
talk
spirit.
about this?
You were like a corpse.
I'm still trying to make sense of what happened.
Yes, it must be confusing. There is something else I would like to talk about. Maybe you have guessed it already.
Your friend. Now you know what killed him.
Her. She was a woman, and her name was Mila. But yes, that's right. Now I do. It was your mother. The Shaper.
You can leave? I'd understand. Wait, what does she want to do? How do you feel?
What do you feel?
I don't know. Ultimately, the question I asked myself is, can there be culpability if there was no ill intent? I've done many things which people might consider evil, but then again, I didn't do them out of malice, but because I needed to. Because feeding my urges is the only way for me to survive. I know the situation is slightly different from your mother's. She didn't know her song kill people, but ultimately it did. So the question is she to blame for Mila's death?
Oh, I
And
see.
if not, who is?
Consequences matter, not intentions. There is no blame. It's my father's fault. I don't think this one. Intentions can be important. Very important. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Aonir is looking for someone to blame.
It's my father's fault. If he hadn't trapped her, none of this would have happened.
And you wouldn't exist. Isn't that a strange thought?
True.
At least I know now what happened. That alone gives me some kind of closure.
And what now? Will you stay?
Yes, I will.
For what it's worth, I'm glad that I can count on you.
It's good that you feel that way. Let us talk later if there's something to talk about, Tahar.
Let us
Thank you
talk
for your
later
time.
if there's something to talk about. Really? Okay. Oh, yeah. She still wants
Need
to
anything?
talk.
Goodbye.
Yes, Corporal? How can I help?
About you being an assassin. You said that you might be willing to tell me more about that at another time. How about now?
I'm still not certain. The question really is, do you want to know? It might change something.
Right. Law check. She was sold by her mother to a dude because her mother was hungry or poor. And the dude trained her to be an assassin. We think. We don't know. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have asked.
Tell me.
otherwise.
Tell me.
Tell me.
All right. Where should I begin?
At the
Do you
beginning.
remember what I told you about that man who bought me from the Greyfell Bazaar?
There you go. I do listen.
My owner. I also told you that after an incident, he discovered my talents and made me an assassin.
I remember. But what does that have to do with your morality?
It's complicated. The incident took place at a festivity. A lot of highly influential people were there, servants of the crown, wealthy merchants, nobles. My master knew all of Greyfell's elites. As always, at these festivities, it was my and the other slaves' responsibility to ensure the guests' well-being.
Oh shit.
It must have been close to midnight when a man took me into his chambers. I'd learned to play along years ago, because resisting only made it worse. This time, however, was different. For some reason, that man wanted me to tell him that I loved him. I did, but he kept on telling me that I should say it like I really mean it. When I couldn't, he got angrier and angrier and started choking me. I had almost lost consciousness when I felt something break. I don't know how else to put it. It was as if my mind simply cracked open, like a crystal ball smashed against a mirror. And all of a sudden, that man and I weren't separate entities anymore.
I don't follow.
My magic, my dreamweavery, that's when it broke free. You probably don't know this, but the only way to become a dreamweaver is by shattering your mind. You are opening yourself to the thoughts and emotions of others, but you lose your own.
What happened to the man?
I killed him. It wasn't a conscious choice, looking back. I even think that shattering my mind was my body's way of ensuring survival. I closed my eyes, reached out for the man's mind, and just crushed it. The man gasped, lost balance, and fell right off the bed. He wasn't dead yet, but unable to move. Like a puppet rid of its strings. At first I was disoriented. But then I felt it, for the first time. The urge.
To kill him?
Yes. To massacre him. Hear his screams. To see his life taken by my hand. I grabbed a lantern that was standing on a bedside table and knelt over him, and... well, you can picture the rest. To get back to your original question, that urge, it stuck with me. I think that the moment when my mind shattered and I became a dreamweaver was what unlocked it. Ever since then, I've found violence and bloodshed to be ecstatic, erotic even. And when I kill someone, like I killed that man, I feel alive. Actually, it's one of the few times I am capable of feeling anything at all.
Huh. And this is why you became an assassin?
Yes. My master introduced me into the craft. Probably because he knew that my dreamweavery had changed me. I wasn't just a slave child anymore. I was a weapon now. More than that, even. I needed what these new tasks my master sent me on provided me with. It had become a basic need of mine. Of course, I briefly considered changing my profession after my master had his accident. But I didn't. Killing is something I need, as much as a child needs the love of his mother. If I don't feed my urge, I will die. Not physically, but mentally. I just know this.
So she's a psychotic, telepathic assassin. That is a lot to take. That's a lot.
That's a lot to
Yep.
take in.
I know. Now tell me, Tahar. Do you regret asking me this question? Knowing all this, do you think I'm a monster?
I mean, yes.
You're not.
Really? That's unexpected. Anyway, I would like some time for myself now. I hope you understand.
She knows that I was lying to her.
Yes, Corporal? How can I help?
You said you know where we can find more allies.
Yes. I'll be brief. While you were asleep, an elven messenger came by. Varden Merilith, one of the Morhir scryers from Leafshade, sent him.
Merilith? What did he want?
Only that he
She's a
needed your help.
psycho.
They,
She's a
that
psycho.
is, he and a couple of his followers, seem to be somewhere deep in the Leafshade jungle, near the Halayish ruins.
All right.
All right. We might look into this.
We should. Is there anything else you wish to discuss, Tahar?
Nope.
You said that you have an idea on how we can get more allies to fight the Purity.
Yes.
Yes.
I do. It's someone you're already familiar with. At least, according to your friend Iria. The Iron Falcons.
You want to convince them to join
no.
our troops?
Not all of them, obviously. The Field Dog are an even greater threat than the Purity, even if most people nowadays have almost forgotten about them. What I suggest is that we strike a bargain with them. They give us a small division of their elite keepers, and we provide them with twice the amount of foot and maybe engineers to make up for it.
Engineers and infantry for a handful of knights. Is that really worth it?
It is. The Falcons aren't only excellent fighters. Their presence will also inspire our soldiers. They're living legends.
All right. It's worth a try.
I'm hoping they would.
When do we set
They
out?
will help
Whenever you want.
because.
Thanks to these godstones, it won't take us
Oh,
long to
jeez,
get there.
Sam.
So I'm not
Oh, it's
expecting
harness
this
time.
mission to cost
1
us more
second.
than a day, 2 at most. We should probably take some troops with us, just in case the canyon is still unsafe.
Fair enough. I'll let you know when we go.
Good.
Okay. So we're back on the original mission of like getting friends again. Let me guess. This guy has got friends that we need to talk to.
Tahar, it is good to see that you have recovered. This place and these people
I'm
lacked
guessing.
guidance without you.
They did?
Yes, the Lord Marshal tried to assume control, but as you might have expected, he did not have everybody's support. I was even fearing an internal power struggle, and I'm glad it did not come to that. I must say, Tahar, your mother, she is remarkable. I have always wondered what the Shapers look like, and now I do. It is fascinating, though I suppose this is a difficult topic for you. Forgive me if my words were inappropriate.
Do you know what we don't know? We don't know what happened to that dude and the stone golem.
All that matters is that we save her. We need to stop Lacane and get my mother's spirit back into her body.
Yes, this is our objective. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Yes? What is it?
What is your relationship with Lena? Who?
So, Undergast, when you told me about your split with Lena, I got the feeling that you were more than just colleagues.
You are asking if we were in love. Am I correct?
Well,
I don't remember that
yeah,
conversation.
yes.
Then let me start by telling you that the term love is undefined and that theories about it conflict one another. I have read a lot of books on it, and I've studied the poems, and I've come to the conclusion that it is ultimately a primitive, carnal urge that people have come to romanticize for the emotions that come with it. I, myself, never felt it, and maybe that was because I saw the underlying mechanisms. I always found it strange how people overreact so strongly to such a simple emotion, and maybe that very fact stopped me from being able to feel these emotions at all.
Let you fall. Okay.
So, what you're saying is that
People
you
don't
were
fall
never
in
able
love?
to feel love, but then Lena came along and you did.
No, it was not that simple. What stood out in our relationship was that we connected. I've never felt that before. You see, Tahar, to me, the bonds people have always felt peculiar. And I am not like Yana. Her mind simply does not have the ability to feel these bonds anymore. She had them once, but then she lost them, as she became a dreamweaver. My brain is capable of feeling these things, but I am unable to connect with the outside world. I only have my own mind as a frame of reference. For example, when a person tells you yes, whereas he or she means no, you might be able to feel this discrepancy because you are able to empathize with her. I can't. To me, this person's distress would make no sense whatsoever. But then there was Lena. For some bizarre reason, she understood me and I understood her. Or at least, I thought that I did. It was as if this barrier, this shell that separates my mind from others, was pervious to her emotions. I know how strange it sounds, and I also have no explanation for why this was, yet it changed me. All at once, I felt connected. Do you know this feeling, Tahar? You have traveled with these people for quite some time now.
Ooh.
Is there anyone you were, well, fond of?
Question. Yes.
Well, yes, there is.
I see. Then you probably know how distracting such a feeling can be. To be honest, when I first became aware of that bond between Lena and me, I was horrified. I could not focus anymore. When I sat down to write my studies, I realized after hours that none of what I had written made sense at all.
Distracting, yeah. I suppose that makes sense. I'm guessing your relationship ended with disagreement.
Am I right to assume that your relationship ended with your disagreement over the Creators Guild abandoning its neutrality?
No, you misunderstand. We never had a relationship. Although the feelings were mutual and we, well, acted on them, we never felt the need to bind ourselves to some close-minded societal construct. But yes, you are correct. It was the disagreement that broke our bond. Quietly, she left and never returned again.